What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, in today's video, I want to give you a quick update on what's happening with Bitcoin's price and what you need to be on the watch out for the next few days. So with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, my friends, and let's get straight into the video. Well, looking at Bitcoin here, what we can see is that we are still stalled out, and we have been for the last few days. Now, today we are seeing a little bit of extra red in the market, currently sitting 1 to 2% down on the day, and from this little peak that we put in, Bitcoin is sitting down about 4%, but definitely nothing too concerning, at least in my opinion. Now, I did actually talk about what was happening in the broad market over on my second channel, guys, the Crypto Catch Up. Every morning I like to give you some updates and news about what's happening in the broad crypto market over there, so make sure you do go check that out down below. But overall, the main point of that video is that where we're at right now, not really too concerned about it, and the news we were getting wasn't all too concerning either. Now, understanding that and having that in place, what I want to talk about today is, again, what's happening with Bitcoin's price, because it is a rather important moment, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing right now. So right now, I'm actually not buying, I'm not selling, I'm actually not doing anything. You guys know that we did some buying here on Bitcoin around $49.5 thousand right here. We didn't time the bottom perfectly, and that's okay, but we did pick some up at a rather decent time. Now, whenever its price did actually start to roll over again, and we were still in the bottom half of this threshold, I actually did purchase a little bit more in here. Both of those trades and both of those purchases being up quite substantially, which is pretty damn cool. Now, I am doing my trading over on Margex, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the video. Now, the reason why, of course, I'm not doing any buying right now is not only just because we did some purchases at lower prices, but because we're sitting below a massive point of resistance right now, and I just don't know what's going to happen. What you can see is we're currently sitting below the 618 to 786 macro, or let's go in midterm macro Fibonacci zone, right? This is like the weekly macro zone, not the big one, but the little one. And so as a result of that, there is still a pretty high substantial chance that we do see some type of pullback off the zone. If you don't know anything about the Fibonacci's, the easiest way to explain it is that when you're retracing back up a previous move, so this was the previous move, okay, from this high to this low, we're retracing some of this move. Once you hit the 78.6 to 61.8 percentage threshold of retracement on that move, you're likely going to run into a ton of resistance, okay? And so knowing that, obviously, it can act as a door to the upside, because if you clear that level, typically there's no more resistance that's going to be as big as this one, and now you're in a spot where you can really take off. But realistically, you also have to be in an understanding of that there's a strong chance of a rejection here. And so the way that I see this, and what I'm kind of noticing right now, is this is the time to be waiting, right? What I'm going to be doing is paying attention to two steps, really. First step is, are we capable of breaking the 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone between, of course, 61,000 and 64,000. If we're capable of breaking this, I might buy a little bit more Bitcoin, but then realistically, we're now at a point where we're right below the top side of this wedge, right? We're right below the top side of the structure. Then at that point, we might get some type of rejection off the top side. And so knowing there's so much resistance right here and then directly above that, again, I just don't think the best time to be purchasing is right now if you're looking for short-term gains. Now, yes, if you're long-term dollar cost averaging every Wednesday, this doesn't really apply to you. But if you're looking for good buying opportunities, there's probably better ones in the market right now than what you're going to get from Bitcoin at this given point. Now, on the flip side, if we do see Bitcoin's price start to roll towards the downside, what I will go ahead and say is I am willing to buy if Bitcoin re-enters back in the bottom half of this threshold, or the bottom half of this structure, right? What you can do is kind of, you know, roughly draw in a line in the middle of these two lines. It's not going to be parallel, but it will be somewhat similar. And while Bitcoin is in the bottom half of this structure, I am willing to be doing some buying, because I do think one day Bitcoin's price is going to break above this structure. I think one day it's going to clear this trend line. And so because of that, if it's in the bottom half of the structure, why wouldn't I be buying, right? And so where I am right now is just saying, okay, well, if Bitcoin's price breaks this 618 to 786 Fibonacci range, I do a little bit of buying, maybe, like hard maybe, but again, we have resistance right above it, and the most I can see is a 7% gain, 5x leverage, that's a 30% gain. There's just way better opportunities in the market than that, and the risk is still high, because we could just do this, right? And so because of that, if we continue upwards throughout this week, maybe I'll do some buying. If we break this zone, nothing's promised there. If Bitcoin's price does pull back, maybe this little mini M-top we're forming does enact. Once we do enter into the bottom half of this threshold, or the bottom half of this structure, I will do some buying. My current goal is, if we can get back towards $54.7 thousand and retest this previous point of support, which was also support back here, I would probably be doing a little bit of purchasing. I think that that's a decent support level that we could try to get a bounce back off of. So that would be a, you know, a set in stone number, but more or less, I would just be doing some buying once we do, you know, continue under somewhere around $59,000, because again, I think finding support and continuing back to the top side of the structure will happen one day. So that's the reason why I'm just waiting right now, guys. I don't know what this market's going to do. I don't know if we're going to clear it. I don't know if we're going to get rejected by it, but I'm prepared, and I know what I'm going to do one way or another, and that's the reason why we've done so well here on the channel. And so guys, if you do want to do some trading on Bitcoin yourself, you can use the Margex link down below. You don't have to KYC and you don't need a VPN, meaning anyone can use it from anywhere in the world, and you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses when you do sign up and start trading. So make sure you do go check that out down below. And while you are down there, again, remember I did make another video over on my second channel. If you want to go, feel free of course to check it out. Let me know what you think. But also guys, what are you doing right now? Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you accumulating alts? Are you selling alts, buying Bitcoin? What's your current strategy and game plan? Leave it down in the comments down below. Let's have a few convos down there. And of course, I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.